In many ways, parenting and teaching are related fields. When we are parents, we are primary caregivers for our children. But as teachers, we are secondary caregivers for our students. The truth is that as parents, we tend to make mistakes because we do not realize that our children are our psychological blind spots. And so, our roles as teachers become far more important. We can repair many of the mistakes that happen at homes, which parents are not aware of in their interactions with children. I take this opportunity to thank my daughter. She has been the guiding light for me in every way. I had always thought that parenting was an instructional role. It was she who taught me that no, parenting is not a matter of instructions. It is a collaborative journey between the parent and the child. Additionally, my students too, many of the troublesome students, the ones with disruptive behaviors, I learned so much from them, far more than I will be able to ever convey. In my classroom settings, when I'd be explaining something important, one of the students would be staring morosely out of the window. A second would be fidgeting. A third would be looking moody and withdrawn. And a fourth would be staring at me blankly. I'd wonder, what's wrong with these people? Why don't they pay attention in class? Little did I know back then that these students were carrying within themselves stories of victimhood and helplessness. Perhaps their early childhood experiences had made them that way. How was I to know that? Here I was, doing my very best, trying to appeal to their brain and their intellect, expecting them to make healthy cognitive choices. But I didn't realize that there was something going on within them, and that something was an automatic response which they were not in control of. Little did I know then that that would set me off on a journey, a completely different journey, which would teach me so many things that I had never imagined possible for me. The truth dawned on me that it is not that students do not want to pay attention. The truth is that they cannot pay attention. And the reason for that became very clear to me when I studied the work of Dr. Stephen Porges and everything that he had to say about the polyvagal theory and the autonomic nervous system. In life, we move towards some things and we move away from some things. Sometimes we connect, at other times we disconnect. In some contexts, we feel safe and supported. In others, we feel anxious and afraid. We are all the time shifting between three key states. These three key states are described by the polyvagal theory. And just as easily that an expert driver shifts gears and he does it effortlessly, automatically, depending on the situation, so also our nervous system shifts states effortlessly, automatically, without our even realizing it. From the time we are very small children, our nervous system is learning and adapting. It learns about life, about the world. It learns about what is safe for us and what is potentially dangerous for us. It looks for safety, and not finding safety, it writes stories of survival for us. These stories tell us what is possible for us, what is not possible for us, what we can expect, what we cannot expect. These stories create limiting beliefs and set up invisible barriers and boundaries for us. Once a child or a student creates that invisible barrier or boundary, you can try all you like. The child is not going to be able to break out of that boundary unless somebody helps that child to rewrite that childhood story. And that childhood story of survival has to be rewritten as a story of resilience. And we, as teachers, have to help that student by first rewriting the stories that we have written for ourselves. Once we do that for ourselves, we can now co-regulate, and we can help those students to rewrite their stories, to help them move from the position of being victims to the positions of being victors. Those students in my class were not disruptive. Their behaviors were not disruptive. And I don't think today I can say that they were being defiant. Their nervous system was signaling a threat to them where actually no threat existed. I was a safe person. The class environment was safe. Why should those students feel threatened? Why is it that they brought themselves to a state where they could not focus or pay attention? Dr. Stephen Porges' work speaks of these three key states. The first state is that of fight or flight. The second state is that of shutdown or freeze. And the third is that of feeling safe and connected. You know, as teachers, I think many of us have this experience. We are adults today, but when we look back on our own school days, our school days have been long past. But when we look back on our school days, we can think of one specific teacher, just that one person whose presence was comforting and uplifting for us. That is what we need to become for all of our students. They have dysregulated nervous systems. Their parents perhaps are not even in a position to understand that. But we, in our institutions, in our educational places, we can set up something for those students to completely regulate their nervous system. Next time we see somebody who's anxious or who is upset or angry or presenting disruptive behaviors, all we need to do is to ask ourselves, what is it that this person's nervous system is telling him right now? Why isn't this person able to feel safe? And more importantly, what can I do in this moment to make this person feel safe and to bring this person back to a state of emotional regulation? First, self-regulation, and then co-regulation. Co-regulation is a silent but strong message of support. Thank you.